or 3 bars? Or at frozen bars?
Sounds like a Disney themed bar.
Yes. All right, Peck, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Sean, you good?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. What's going on, people? No, the nobody that's watching this. All right, what's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, December 6th. You have found the 312. I'm your host, Matt Zawaski, and with me, as always, are two bad hombres. We got Matt Peck.
I like you calling me a bad hombre, so I don't know if I'm a fan of that nickname.
And Sean Sears. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? I'm okay with the Bad Hombre nickname. I think it adds a level of ruggedness that I'm missing from the lack of a connecting mustache. So
That's extremely elaborate and also true. So before we dive into everything, we got to actually take care of a little business on this end. Today's episode is brought to you by Urban Game Day. You can find them at urbangameday.com. They are some of the best t-shirts you're going to find on the web. I own multiple of them. They're soft, forgiving, which is good because I don't exactly have the six-pack anymore. It's more in the fridge now. But urbangameday.com, check them out for some t-shirts. They do some really good work over there. So today's show, it's going to be jam-packed as always. We got a lot to talk about. The Bulls. We're going to talk a little Rondo. We're going to talk about what happened when they played Portland without Rondo. Here's a spoiler alert. It wasn't good. The Bears, well, the Bears are officially not the worst team in the NFL, so they got that going for them, which is nice. And then we have to get in, yeah, hey, whew, that's banners, son, banners. Then we got to get into the MLB hot stove, where our little MLB insider, dude, Sean, you're killing it. You really are. Look how big I'm smiling. You're doing so good. Our MLB insider, Sean Sears, who, all joking aside, is absolutely killing it. We're going to talk about what's going on with Chris Sale, what's going on with the Cubs, and some other nooks and crannies going around in the MLB hot stove. And then we have a fantastic interview with Scott Powers from The Athletic, where we will cover everything Blackhawks that you need to know. A lot going on there as well. So with all that being said, let's dive right in. Let's tap this keg. All right, first let's start off. Let's come out the gate with some Bulls talk. The first thing that everybody was talking about on Monday was Mr. Rondo got a 1-game suspension for allegedly throwing a towel at an assistant coach. No, this is a professional team. This is not a 7th grade girls basketball team. The point guard got suspended for throwing a towel at an assistant coach. Now,
who throws a towel?
Honestly, who throws a towel? Everyone, when Rondo was signed, he has a reputation. He's kind of got a little bit of a bad boy image. Some ladies kind of dig that, but he I almost feel like seeing the responses from this 1-game suspension. I saw a lot of people being like, yep, there it is. I knew it. Bad guy. It's like, dude, he threw a towel at an assistant coach. I almost like it. I know I'm going to sound super meatball right now, but it's just, at least he gives a shit. You know what I mean? It's just like,
it's a real display of grit, right? So just like Andrew Shaw,
the fire and the passion. But I mean, it just shows, though. I don't mind it. I mean, I wish he didn't get suspended, because we'll talk about what happens when you get suspended and then you go play against Dame Lillard and the Trailblazers. But I don't know. I feel like Rondo has a rep. It's like kind of like Shaw now in the NHL, though, where you get this rep of just being basically just an asshole, and you do the smallest things and people just jump all over it. Like, see, there it is. That's what he does. That seat right there. And it gets blown up to these epic proportions because the meatballness in the comments and just social media all around the suspension is just, I don't know. You would have thought like he shot a guy or something, or speared a guy with a trident, because people, yep, there it is, terrible guy. He got pissed off and threw a towel in the direction of an assistant coach. I don't know, Peck, you're the senior Bulls writer for Sports Mockery. What do you think?
Well, look, I think you got a point, Zoe, when you're saying people are kind of blowing this out of proportion. And Jimmy Butler, at Monday's shoot around, came out and defended Rondo right away and said, "Look, I don't believe in the reputation that is widely, thrown out there when it comes to Rondo and his character issues or behavioral issues. And we here in Chicago, we love him. The organization loves him. I think the fans love him." And it's just a tiny little thing, and we're going to move past it. We already have moved past it. Rondo apologized to the coaching staff. He apologized. And part that you're right, that it's just sort of a small little infraction that people freaked out about. However, I will say this. Half of Rajon Rondo. This is the other shoe that Bulls fans were waiting for this shoe to drop, because he does have a quick temper. You cannot deny that. While you might say that some of the behavioral issues and, oh my God, he's such a cancer in the locker room, that stuff might get blown out of proportion, and I think it does to some degree. But he does have a temper problem. And at the snap of a finger, that could lead to not a 1-game suspension, but a 10-game suspension or something like that. If he loses his temper on a court in front of a referee, and that's something that Bulls fans are just going to have to deal with.
Yeah, I get it. It kind of comes with the territory. I think when he's on the court, he's playing pretty well so far. I mean, the Bulls still have a winning record. Like, they're doing all right. But unfortunately, they ran into the Trailblazers on Monday night, and when you don't have your starting point guard and you play against a team with arguably one of the best starting point guards in the league, not the best, one of the best, you're going to get an L hung on you, and that's exactly what happened. Cannon, I feel like I'm always saying his name wrong. Cannon and Grant, they were put into a situation where they had to play extended minutes, and Portland hung an L on the Bulls, beat them 112 to 110. I don't know, the game just ended right before we started recording. So, Pep, I know you did a wrap-up. Why don't you throw out some key points?
Yeah, well, you mentioned the backcourt struggling in the absence of Rondo. Rondo, worst game of the season, Saturday night, which is part of the reason why he got so upset. He had just 2 points and 2 assists, 5 turnovers, but are the Bulls better with or without Rondo? I know, you and I argued this point in a previous episode, and I made statistically the argument that, well, recently in the games when they missed him with a bum ankle, that they were doing better as far as their offensive efficiency. But look, Rondo is a veteran point guard, and he can do certain things on the floor that Jaren Grant can't do, Isaiah Cannon can't do. Grant went 1 for 7 in this game against the Blazers. Cannon 4 of 11. Denzel Valentine got extended minutes, 22 minutes off the bench for the rookie. He went 1 for 6. Had a couple of really bad defensive lapses. So, yeah, the Bulls' backcourt is struggling, and anxiously waiting for the return of Michael Carter-Williams. The Bulls' bench is anxiously awaiting the return of Doug McDermott, which hopefully might be this Thursday against San Antonio. But look, Butler and Wade put up a combined 60 points. Niko Mirotic had a nice game off the bench finally with 18. But other than that, Taj Gibson fell back to earth a little bit. Lopez didn't do much offensively in this game. And the Bulls couldn't stop Lillard and McCollum, who in the first game between Portland and Chicago, at the start of that road trip when the Bulls blew them out, both had uncharacteristically, Jesus Christ, poor shooting nights. And in this win on Monday night, they combined for 52 and they shot 49%, which was much better than the egg they laid when Chicago was on the road in Portland. So you put that all together, and it was a narrow loss, but still a loss for the Bulls.
So what do you think about this little nugget I just saw tweeted out by a friend of the program, Nick Shepkowski? The Bulls are a game worse through their first 20 games than they were a year ago. Doesn't feel like it. It's weird.
No, it doesn't feel like it, because quite honestly, I feel like the Bulls right now are pleasantly surprised, or I guess the Bulls fans are pleasantly surprised, whereas last year they were coming off of an Eastern Conference semis loss. This year we're coming off of not making the playoffs and some offseason moves that really had a lot of people scratching their heads.
Yeah, I agree there, Unpack. I feel like I guess like Dwayne Wade learning how to shoot 3-pointers, Rondo not being totally awful before the suspension, this team proving that they can play the type of system Fred Hoiberg was envisioning 2 years ago when he had a backcourt of Jimmy Butler and Derrick Rose, along with Jimmy Butler just flat out, being Jimmy Butler, the G stands for gets Jimmy Butler type of guy that we've seen him be for so we've seen him play in moments. Now he's consistently being that guy. So I agree. This team is a lot more, I think, optimistic. I think the biggest thing is you just aren't like, is it Derrick Rose? Is it Jimmy Butler's team? There isn't that stupid animosity. It's just like this is a basketball team kind of. And it does have real professional basketball players on it. And you don't have people clashing behind the scenes outside of maybe Rondo tossing towels at assistant coaches.
I laughed when you said real professional basketball team because we just talked for 10 minutes about a guy throwing a towel at another man and being punished for it. But go ahead.
That part's ridiculous. And beyond that, you look at guys like Dwayne Wade as a real professional basketball player. He's an adult. Rondo can be an adult at times. Jimmy Butler is proving he can do it. Robin Lopez is probably one of the most unsung heroes on this team right now. He does so many good little things for that team. They've got a lot of pieces that are, and you kind of hope that things kind of mesh and gel and keep going the way they're going, hopefully. So.
Well, and just to sort of wrap up this Bulls talk, Sean, I want to make a point on what you mentioned about the whole lack of animosity that existed last season between Rose and Butler and between Noah and Butler. The one thing I am kind of worried about right now when it comes to Rajon Rondo's latest outburst, it's not the whole he threw a towel thing. It's not the one-game suspension. But we heard sort of through transitive sources, this is something that Spiegel and Goff were talking about on 670 on Monday.
Yeah.
About a kind of weird anonymous source. He was like, but somebody texted me, and this somebody is very, very, very close to the Bulls, who said that Rondo was really pissed off on the flight back from Dallas. Yes, because they lost and because he was getting into it with his coach or whatever, but also was really unhappy with the fact that Dwayne Wade skipped that trip, even knowing that he was going to take a rest on the second night of that back-to-back, opting to stay in Chicago and hang out with his buddy LeBron as opposed to joining the team on their road trip. That apparently didn't sit well with Rondo. So are we now already in early December starting to see a little bit of hierarchical BS going on between the three quote-unquote alphas, as Rondo so aptly described them back in the preseason? Because that, more so than any of Rondo's behavioral issues on the floor, throwing a towel, whatever, if Rondo is feeling disrespected and feeling like the bottom rung of that ladder right now between he, Butler, and Wade, that could lead to much bigger problems.
Here's my thing, all right? I don't blame Rondo. I'd kind of be like, oh, what are you doing? You get on the plane, come with the team. But if this is really a thing, which I don't doubt, I know golf is extremely plugged into the NBA. If this is a real thing, sit down and talk about it. Figure it out right away. It's something stupid. Again, this is some petty bullshit, and get over it. It's not like, someone slapped some other dude's girlfriend or some shit. He just made a bad choice. And if you don't like the way he handles, just sit down, be men, talk it out, and then go play the game. You're getting paid millions of dollars to play. It's that simple to me. I don't get why these things escalate to these epic proportions. And I know I'll never fully understand having an ego of the size of a professional athlete, but to me, it's that simple. I don't understand. Just say you'll eat it and move on. I don't get it. It just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
So, all right. There's the Bulls. So let's talk about something good, or we could talk about the Bears. So let's do that. The Bears actually won, bastards. They beat the 49ers 26-6 in the tank bowl, the toilet bowl, whatever you want to call it. So they're hurting their draft position by beating the 49ers. This game was just brutal. I can't sugarcoat this any other way. They didn't complete a pass in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just smash mouth football, though.
Oh my God, I want to smash your mouth. You got to be kidding me. It's just, half these guys, no completed passes in the first quarter of an NFL game. Just mind-blowing. But there was a couple of like good things to come out of this tank loss. Jordan Howard had himself a game. I mean, for all the shit that people give the Bears about their drafting guys and stuff like that, Jordan Howard's been a bright spot. Cody Whitehair's been pretty damn solid. You know, they got a lot of undrafted free agents starting. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but Jordan Howard had 32 attempts, 117 yards and 3 touchdowns, and helped Sean Sears' fantasy football team because I know everyone cares about that. So
I don't. I'd like to go on the
that's a very
record
big
as saying
price.
I don't care about Sean's fantasy football team.
And then the other thing,
50 Shades of Jay. We're going to the playoffs.
I really wish you didn't tell us your terrible fantasy team name. And then the other thing is the defense. I know it was snowy and it was fair weather, and you know they're playing a not good team in San Francisco, who is now on a 10-game losing streak. But I mean, Leonard Floyd getting the safety, he had a multiple sack game. Hicks had a huge game. Like they were living in the backfield pretty much all game. It was just that was good. But now there's still a top 5 draft pick. San Francisco, fortunately for us Bears fans, are playing the New York Jets next week, who Andrew Luck is just that is just some rated X stuff he's doing to them right now. That is not clean. Oh, it was like 41-6 going into the third quarter. Ugh. But anyways, and they wonder why NFL ratings are down because you put teams like the best play for the Jets in this Monday night game were the 2 guys running on the field getting taken out by security guards. So, I mean, so maybe San Francisco wins that game. The Bears have kind of a tough road the rest of the way. I'm still thinking top 5 draft, which we talked about last week about who we would take. I think there's a good amount of talent. And the nice thing, too, is in a league that a lot of teams are looking for that running back help, this is a very running back stacked draft. So the Bears can kind of use that to their advantage to fill some of these other needs because they do not have that need at running back. So I don't know. That's pretty much what I took away from Sunday. And if I see one more damn article about Matt freaking Barkley possibly being the Bears quarterback of the future,
whoa!
I'm just going to be very. Dude, I saw multiple people.
Who is writing that crap?
There are people out there that sat down in front of a computer and was like, "It's a good idea. I'm typing this one up."
Okay.
He is undefeated in snow.
You beat the 49ers, and
he's undefeated in snow for his career.
Barkley did throw the ball a little bit more, starting with that 2-minute drill right before the end of the first half to get their first touchdown. And then I think he came like just shy of 200 passing yards in total. Was played a fairly clean game, but let's be honest, Jordan Howard and his 3 touchdowns are the reason the Bears won that game. And the fact that the Niners are terrible and Colin Kaepernick had 5 net passing yards.
5. That's one hand if you're down at home. That's one hand worth
is the other reason that the Bears won that game. Look, Matt Barkley, let's see what he can do in the final 4 games of this season to talk about whether or not he can be our legitimate backup quarterback next season.
No, he can't. He's terrible. There's a reason why he was the 3rd-string quarterback this year. But hey, he's undefeated. I'm
just
saying. Let's see what he does in these last 4 games. He hasn't looked awful in his starts in Cutler's absence.
I haven't hated it. I haven't hated watching Matt Barkley. It's been interesting at least.
Let's watch what he does against the Detroit team.
Yeah. Exactly. That was going to be my next point. Let's wait for him. He's going to play against some good teams. Yeah. Good football team. That's kind of it's a little gracious. Yeah.
Shout out to our fellow bloggers out there that had the balls to sit down in front of a keyboard and type that with a straight face. I hope you got paid a lot of money for selling your soul for that bullshit. And I mean, that's
another positive that I want to mention. How about Leonard Floyd? I mean, we had to deal with that really scary injury when the Bears were playing in Meadowlands a few weeks ago. He misses 1 week, comes back from the neck / concussion, backs against the Niners, and you have to feel good about that, if anything, especially considering, what is Kyle Fuller doing right now? What is Kevin White doing right now? So,
had to throw the
first round draft pick is in a good way for the Bears down the stretch. That has to be one of the positives fans can take away from this dreadful season.
I did really appreciate how he completely ragdolled Blake Gabbert for that safety.
Oh, it was great.
He
And then
just did him dirty.
And then his celebration wasn't anything where like, oh, I'm gonna accidentally tear my ACL by doing this like power man stance. No, he just stood there. He just stood there stone faced, like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah. No, he stood there and just said,
I'm Leonard Floyd, bitches.
I'm gonna take you out for a nice seafood dinner and never call you again. So I mean, there was some positives, but again, 49ers, 10-game losing streak, terrible football team. But those are the games you're supposed to win, so they handle their business. So now lose the rest of the season and get a good pick. So let's go in to the Major League Baseball hot stove, and that stove, oh boy, it's hot. And before we get into all this, because Sean has been doing a great job, shout out to all you Twitter trolls that like to say Sean is bullshit and all this stuff. Dude, my boy here is putting in work. I'm seeing him putting in work. The sources are legit. Just tweet about kittens or something else to your 52 followers. Leave the man alone. Let him do his job. He's killing it. So that's me, Sean. Sorry. I'm getting a little Papa Bear on you right now, but you're doing good work. Keep doing what you're doing, and now you can tell us what's going on with Chris Sale.
Thanks, man. Well, it sounds like, and this is pretty recent actually, it sounds like the Nationals are going to make they're going to make a huge effort to going after Chris Sale right now. It seems like they're the real favorites to grab him. The favored players that sound like they're going are starting pitcher Lucas Giolito, outfielder Victor Rubles, and then potentially a smaller piece, which is a little bit less than some people are expecting. I don't know. It seems kind of light for the value of Chris Sale. I feel like another top prospect probably gets involved, but Trey Turner is not going to be involved. The Nationals are too nervous to part ways with Trey Turner, especially with them making the announcement today that it sounds like they're not going to really pursue Bryce Harper after he becomes a free agent in 2018. That really wanted to meet his demands. Currently, right now, I've heard rumors that they might actually try and trade him when it comes to Bryce Harper. So Trey Turner's off the table because potentially, yeah. I had a source come out and say that today that they were considering the Nationals were talking to teams about trading Bryce Harper, just seeing what the value would be, gauging people's opinions. I don't think they'll move Bryce Harper until next year. But, I mean, if they got a crazy offer for him right now, I think they consider it.
I talk about winning the lottery all the time. Don't mean it's going to happen. I mean,
yeah. Exactly. But when it comes to Chris Sale, it sounds like the Nationals are the team to beat right now. The Astros were the team to beat about a week ago, or whatever this last podcast was, Thursday. But they were reluctant to deal Alex Bregman in their include Alex Bregman in the deal, and it sounded like George Springer wasn't really making the White Sox feel super comfortable moving him. I also heard rumors today that the Rockies are apparently interested in making a move for Jose Abreu. So,
come on. No way, Jose.
Yeah, you don't like that?
No, I don't like that. But with this Chris Sale stuff, now, I guess when it comes to baseball, I definitely spend most of my time on the American League side of things. So tell me the scout note version about the two big names that could possibly coming over from the Nationals.
Sure. Lucas Giolito is the Nationals' top pitcher. He's in the top 100 of pitchers. He's probably a top 50 prospect overall. He's a pretty talented guy. Has 3 very solid pitches. Has potentially developed 5 pitches overall. Just seems to be the full package. He'd be a dominating piece. The only thing is the White Sox do already have some pretty talented pitching prospects. So Giolito is nice, but he's not as nice as a Trey Turner, as a Alex Bregman, some type of guy that with a bat could make a difference. Now, Victor Rubles is a talented outfielder. He's 18 years old. Looks like he's going to be a 5-tool stud. The only difference is he's 18. Yeah, Victor Rubles.
You can't even buy beer. He's getting traded for Chris Sale.
Holy smokes. Yeah. He's 18 years old. Potentially, he looks like he could be a real good player. He's only been in the minors for maybe a year. Played mainly in the developmental leagues and the fall ball. Talented guy, but he's 18 years old and it looks like he's going to need a lot more seasoning. So he's not estimated to make a debut until probably 2020, 2019 at the earliest.
Oh.
So,
Are you shitting me?
Sean, you just wrecked Zoe's day with that.
I'm
We're
sorry,
gonna trade Chris Sale for a dude that you can't rent a car, you can't buy beer, and he's not gonna play for another 4 years. I don't got 4 years for this shit. How are you gonna trade Chris Sale for someone that isn't major league ready right now?
So I mean, now
goodness.
they could. I mean, the White Sox are not a team that's very patient with the prospects. There's a good chance Rules will make his way up there, just because that's the type of front office they are. I don't know. It just seems like the deal itself is kind of light. The other pieces are, smaller major league, minor league pieces, people that can maybe make a difference now for the White Sox, or bullpen pieces, or infield players, role players, that type of person. Like a Tommy La Stella, essentially, would be probably the throw-in piece for there. So like a piece that could be good off the bench.
Great example. Yeah, a guy that goes MIA for a month and a half. Yeah, they might throw him in. Yeah, why not? Guy that disappears in Atlantic City. All right, so let's say hypothetically this deal goes down, okay? Just like you laid it out. That doesn't address a lot of the White Sox problems, especially when it comes to in the field and in the lineup. As far as batters
I
are
think they'd
concerned.
have to. Two things that have to happen. The White Sox have to get the Nationals to include catching prospect Severino. Really talented guy, would solve a big need for the White Sox. They've been struggling to find a catcher since J.J. Brzezinski left. He's got a decent bat, but he's a pretty talented catcher. That would solve a need. It seems like the Nationals want to hold on to him because they don't have too great of catchers right now either, at least in the farm system right now. So he could be included. The other thing I've heard, and this is kind of something I haven't really been able to confirm with too many people, but I've heard it twice today now from two different sources, the potential of the Nationals, the White Sox, and the Cubs being in a 3-team deal. Basically what would happen is the White Sox would be dealing Chris Sale to the Nationals. The Nationals would be giving up their top 3 prospects, and so would the Cubs. The Cubs would be receiving Giolito and then Ronaldo, Lopez, the other top pitching prospect from the Nationals. So they'd be receiving those 2 players. The White Sox would then be getting the Cubs' top prospects in Ian Happ, Eloy Jimenez, and most likely Dylan Cease with Rubles. Now, I have heard that potentially the Cubs might be able to hold on to Happ and Jimenez. One of the 2 might stay, and then another Nationals prospect would be thrown in, probably Severino, maybe a pitcher, whatever it would be. Another prospect would be put in there. But the Cubs would be giving up their top 3, more than likely their top 2 or 3 prospects to receive the Nationals' 2 top pitchers. The White Sox get a slew of players, and then, the Nationals get Chris Sale.
I like that deal better. Tell them to do that.
That's a really long shot, right? I mean, Sean, that's like a very long shot option deal, and
it just seems like, I mean, 3-team deals are ridiculous in general. Normally they don't happen. It's usually only happening in the NBA. Even so, when that happens, it's usually smaller pieces. So for it to have so many headlining prospects and a guy like Chris Sale attached to it, just seems like more house talk than it does rumors. But it's something interesting, and I didn't really give it much thought the first time I heard it. I was like, yeah, whatever, yeah. Oh, it solves each other's needs or whatever. And then another person said it, and I kind of dove into it a little bit. And while it sounds ridiculous, the Cubs are one of the few teams that could facilitate both teams' needs and also benefit from it. So, I mean, it makes sense. I'm just not sure how real it is. So, if I'm the Cubs, I don't mind that deal. It seems like a lot to give up, but they're getting a lot back, and they're solving exactly what they're looking for. So, I don't know. It needs more traction. I need more confirmation before I can just write a story about this and feel good about it. But
speaking about the Cubs, though, so you've been harping on it a lot. So the Cubs are they're looking for starters, huh?
They're fishing for starters. It looks like closers are there as well. There were rumors earlier yesterday that the Cubs might still be in on Kenley Jansen, that they might consider Aroldis Chapman, but it sounds like Chapman slammed the door on that today, saying the Cubs didn't even contact him.
Right. I mean, Chapman's asking for 6 years, and he basically said the Cubs haven't even talked to me, right?
No, and now maybe they have. Maybe they've talked to his agent, but they're definitely not going to offer him 6 years for the hundreds of millions of dollars that he wants.
I feel like they're not going to offer that kind of money to Kenley Jansen either.
Nah.
No, Kenley Johnson's not going to get that from the Cubs. I honestly, the two closers I could see the Cubs really actually trading for, at least, would be either Wade Davis from the Royals, which have picked up a lot of steam. I actually kind of upset a good amount of Kansas City today about that rumor, so I apologize, Kansas City.
It's never a bad
But yeah, no. So Wade Davis could be potentially a Cubs target, along with Danny Duffy. I heard the Cubs might be interested in grabbing both of them. That would take a lot of pieces, and it seems like a long shot. But Wade Davis is very realistic. So would Alex Comey from the Rays. The Rays have basically made everyone available. And while everyone's kind of talking about Chris Sale, I keep hearing Alex Comey's name keep coming up. It sounds like –
But what about aren't the Cubs also interested in the Rays starter Chris Archer?
Chris Archer is definitely a Cubs target. The top target, from what I've heard for the Cubs, is Sonny Gray from the Athletics. He's been their main young pitcher that they've wanted for the last 3 years. The only thing that's concerning them is the medical history behind him. But what they're trying to do is leverage the Chris Sale deal with the A's deal with the Chris Sale, or the Chris Archer deal. So they're trying to use each other for leverage. Sounds like the Cubs are just kind of, playing around and really haven't been too serious about anything. It just sounds like they call these people and are just like, hey, we're interested in this player. Here's what we have available. What can we do? And it seems like yeah.
Well, I was going to say, before we, move on to our interview with Scott Powers here and talk Blackhawks, there's little rumblings. I know nothing crazy or anything, but there's rumblings about the Cubs' possible plan B being Justin Verlander.
Yeah, Justin Verlander is definitely realistic. I've heard from multiple sources and a couple higher ups that Justin Verlander is definitely a serious Cubs target.
That'd be awesome. And Kate Upton would be at Cubs at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, that was the majority of the people's responses when I tweeted that article.
That's clearly what's
Justin Verlander is definitely an option. But I have heard basically the line of Cubs wants goes Athletic Sonny Gray, Chris Archer for the Rays. Then it's Justin Verlander, unless the Diamondbacks will trade A.J. Pollock, their center fielder, along with a pitcher, in which case the Cubs would make that deal probably over all the other ones. So if A.J. Pollock is included in a deal from the Diamondbacks, the Cubs will take one of their pitchers, A.J. Pollock, and that probably means Albert Almora is getting moved potentially to the Rays or the Royals for a closer, along with,
All right. 100% honest question. Do you have in your room at your house like a crazy board with a bunch of red yarn connecting the different teams, and you're like, you see, and you pound on it, and your mom kind of thinks you're a little cuckoo bananas now? Or how do you keep this all straight, man?
I just do. I don't know.
That's solid. That's a solid answer right there, Sean. Thank you for showing us a glimpse of your.
I'm a fucking baseball nerd, man. What do you want from me?
Oh, no. I want you to keep doing it because it's great. Make sure you guys are following him on Twitter as well as at 312pod. We'll be retweeting all of Sean's stuff. He's got his finger all up in the pulse of the MLB hot stove talks right now. So let's go. Let's talk some Blackhawks. Scott Powers from The Athletic was very nice to come on the show with us. And before we get into that interview, more business. This interview is brought to you by M.W. Brady Law Firm. For all your real estate law, business law, estate planning needs, make sure you call my guy, Mike Brady. You can hit him up at 708-532-3655. Not only is he extremely handsome, but he's a very good lawyer. So definitely any real estate or business law or estate planning, M.W. Brady Law Firm, www.mwbradylaw.com. With that being said, here's our interview with Scott Powers for all things Blackhawks. All right, thank you, Scott. That was fantastic. I'm very excited about some of these upcoming players. DeBrincat is just out of his head right now. And Scott is one of the better ones on the interwebs when it comes to knowing what's coming up through the pipeline with the Blackhawks and things like that. Definitely a great follow. Really appreciate him giving us some of his time. So let's finish off the show like we like to do around here with our peanut gallery as well as our buzzer beaters. So the peanut gallery is part of the show where we take some of the best comments from at 312pod, at Sports Mockery, Facebook.com/sportsmockery, and we either laugh with you or at you. So, Peck, why don't you tee one off here with the peanut gallery?
For sure. All right. So this comes on the article that I put out Monday addressing that whole Rondo Wade feud that might be sort of bubbling up right now. And Michael here said, Wade shouldn't be chilling after a game like that. You're on our squad now. Stop going on dates with Bronny, referring to his play day with LeBron James in Chicago as opposed to joining the team in Dallas.
Banana boat.
Now, Michael, I am going to scold and praise you for this peanut gallery because you make two different points here, and one of them's right and one of them's wrong. Let's start with the wrong one. You said Wade shouldn't be chilling after a game like that. Dwayne Wade is about to be 35 years old, and he just proved to us in this game against Portland, yes, it was a losing effort, but Wade looked like vintage mid-20s Wade, going out there and dropping 34 points in the Bulls game against Portland on Monday night after having 2 days of rest as opposed to flying to Dallas and playing the Mavericks. You really want D. Wade playing all 82 games this season? No. You want the Bulls to make the playoffs? You want the Bulls to make noise in the playoffs? How about you let D. Wade rest his legs every once in a while?
Yeah.
So that part of your comment, Michael, is foolish and misguided. However, I like how you end it. You're on our squad now. Stop going on dates with Bronny. Couldn't agree more, Michael. Could not agree more. Look, this comment from Michael reminded me of part of Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame induction speech when he was talking about his relationship with Pat Riley and how about like in the mid-'90s when the Bulls and the Knicks would play, if the Bulls were in town in New York or the Knicks were in town in Chicago, Riley wouldn't let Charles Oakley and Michael Jordan, two very good friends outside of NBA basketball courts, go out to dinner and hang out because Riley didn't want Charles Oakley fraternizing with the enemy. Now, I feel the same way about D. Wade and LeBron's friendship right now, quite honestly, as a Bulls fan. It's like, look, LeBron's our enemy. He is the guy I hate more than anyone in today's NBA. He's knocked the Bulls out of the playoffs umpteen times in the last decade. Wade, I know you got your little pal relationship. You guys want to, ride inflatable boats together when you're, cruising on your yachts in the summertime. But this is Bulls basketball. Sweet. Keep your distance from LeBron.
I'm down. But, again, that banana boat looked pretty fun. Just throwing that out there again. It looked pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But that's awesome.
Of, sharing rides on big bananas with a bunch of other grown men, though.
You're goddamn right.
That seems like something that's right up your alley.
Oh, hey. Went in the Bahamas or wherever the hell they were. Sean, what do you got?
So, with this new Twitter fame I've recently acquired here, some of my buddies that thought it'd be really, really funny to tweet things out and then source me in the tweets. Ridiculous things like the Cubs are trading Rizzo, Russell, and minor league pitchers to land Trout, stupid shit like that. And, of course, I have this one very specific troll that keeps tweeting at me. So this guy tweeted to my buddy, and he's like, oh, this kid says fake things, blah, 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 you use whatever. And so my buddy just starts looking at this guy, seeing who he is, and he starts looking at his followers. He has 44 followers, and he screenshots the list of followers and sends them to me. And it's pretty funny. He tweets at this guy, exactly, bro, beware, Sean runs the being sexy at work account.
Yeah,
Fake.
you do. Yeah,
and
you do.
He posts a picture of all his followers, and they're all like
sex bots?
Yeah, like Monday morning titties, like stupid shit like that. Like accounts that just like basically screen cap Snapchats and post them up on Twitter. Those are his followers.
Well, as someone that works with you basically daily, you could easily be the mastermind behind the looking sexy at work Twitter account.
Clearly. I mean, you guys didn't even count. I got a haircut and no one said a damn thing. You guys
I didn't want to put the attention on you, Sean. I know
that is a badge of honor. If we're not talking about it, that means it's good.
That's true.
If you had your horrible fake Bieber dude still going, I'd bring that up. But you actually look like you're a graduate of college or not, some guy that runs Monday Morning Titties Twitter account. So
can it be both?
The kid can dream, man.
It actually probably is. All right, so let's put a bow on this. We're going to get into our buzzer beaters, close out the show a little bit. Sean, you just keep on rolling, brother. What do you got for your buzzer beater?
I don't know, man. I guess my buzzer beater is going to probably have to obligatory buzzer beater to Jordan Howard for Save My Fantasy Life. I guess.
Again, because everyone cares about Sean Sears' fantasy team.
Yeah, so shout out to him. Also, shout out to my girlfriend who was really, really cool. And we went down to the city this weekend, checked out the Kris Kringle market. I don't know, went to a couple bars. She drinks more than me, so that was pretty not impressive, but just she's all around just a better handle of liquor than I am. So I don't know. She had a fun weekend.
Sean, are you saying that your girlfriend could drink you under the table?
She definitely can. She's a tiny Indian girl, so it makes no sense.
Is this because she's being so cool with you being all up in rumors and sources?
Yeah, she's pounding the whiskey for me. But yeah, shout out to my girlfriend.
All right, Peck, what you got, bro?
I don't know whether to be embarrassed for you, girlfriend. I feel like a little bit of both.
Well, Peck, he's back in Chicago now. We can help him out. We can work with the kid.
Yeah, that'll go super well.
Sean, come hang out with me and Zoe. We'll teach you how to drink whiskey.
Yeah.
All right, deal.
And we'll probably tuck you in 10 minutes. But go ahead, Peck. What do you got, bud?
All right, I'm going to do a little bit of college football, actually, for my buzzer beater. Heisman finalists were announced on Monday. You got Louisville QB Lamar Jackson, Jabril Peppers of Michigan, Clemson's Deshaun Watson, and most importantly, brother-in-law Adam, diehard Oklahoma Sooners fan. Since he came into our family, I've sort of been a bandwagon Sooners fan. Dede Westbrook getting Heisman nomination nods, and really well deserved. I don't think either of them are going to win, but you look at what Oklahoma was able to do this season. Finished out as the number 7 overall nationally ranked team, beat Oklahoma State for the Big 12 championship. Excited to watch them play Auburn in the Sugar Bowl. But I mean, Dede Westbrook, dude, what more can you say about
Would have to agree.
74 catches, 1,400. Remember, that is an nation.
Yeah, for my money, the kid from Louisville is going to win.
Yeah,
that kid's
I think Lamar
too.
Jackson's going to win too. But
that kid is electric.
And then he's going to have one RG3 type rookie season in the NFL, and he's going to break every bone in his body.
Oh, no doubt. But as far as Heisman stuff goes,
yeah, he's definitely got a little bit of glass man from Invincible.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that Derrick Rose meme would never go away. So to wrap things up, my buzzer beater, it is time for all of you good-hearted Blackhawks fans out there to rally together and vote for Brian Bickle on your NHL All-Star ballots. You're going to have to write them in, but if everybody gets together like we did with John Scott, this is kind of a much cooler thing, though. I'm a big fan of John Scott, by the way. But as you all know, Bickle was diagnosed with a pretty serious disease, and, he's on his way out of the league, and he gave the Blackhawks a lot of very good memories, a lot of very good years of his life. So if you're the type that like to go online and vote for All-Star games, please just hashtag vote Bickle. Throw him in there. I think it'd be awesome. So that about does it for our show. Just a reminder, if you're looking for some T-shirts, Christmas time, urbangameday.com. Take a look. It doesn't suck. So for Matt Peck, Sean Sears, I'm Matt Sawaski. This is a 312 podcast. We will talk to you all again on Thursday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. So I'm going to